Welcome to 3010 Reviews, the ultimate destination for indie and hobby game enthusiasts. The place where we play your game for 30 minutes and provide playtesting feedback for 10 minutes. At the end of the video, we'll assign a game readiness verdict. Take my money, almost there, and still brewing. Please understand that this is my opinion, and it is down to the developer to decide if they want to publish. This is their work and time, and ultimately, they can do as they please, and we should be respectful of that.
Hi everyone, my name is Bogdan, and today we are playing Cataclismo. The description offered by the developer is as follows. Cataclismo is a mix of real-time strategy and tower defense from the creators of Moonlighter. Defend the last bastion of humanity in a ruined world, building fortresses brick by brick to fend off waves of horrors. Withstand the siege and rise above the haze in a story of hope, resilience, and community.
We're starting off with the Think Aloud gameplay.
Okay, we're in. So first impressions, nice smooth menu, a lot of options over here, and I'm assuming this is the menu for the demo because I have level 1, 2 and 3 available for me. A lot of settings over here, graphics quality, window mode, resolution, FPS gap, VSync. Lots of volume options as well. General, show height UI. I think it's a very in-depth menu and maybe a bit overwhelming in the beginning. I like the explanation for unit allocation. Playing some strategy games, I've noticed that some of them don't have that explanation. Like if you hold Control plus this key, you can allocate a quick button for a unit, which is nice. Okay, so we're getting started now.
So, you've come to talk of Lady Iris. It's true, she has shared my fire from time to time. Sit down, rest. I still remember that day, outside Ogar. The day I met her, the Lady Iris herself.
That was a nice little story, and I'm loving this intro now. It's very ambiental.
These blasted woods are so gloomy. Oh, why did I volunteer for this?
Okay, so as the camera panned in towards the character over there, I thought it was gonna be a directly controlled character, like a third-person situation. Whoa, I can zoom all the way out. Am I meant to be able to do this? Okay, so the reset camera didn't take me back to the unit. It just zoomed back in, seeing that there's just a single unit on the entire map. Maybe they should make it that it returns to the unit. And in case there's more units on the map, it would return to the closest one from the camera.
This message.
Personally, I'm quite inclined to like these types of tutorials. It's learn as you go, but it also provides an explanation, which is nice. It's a lot of effort put into making such a thing. And previously, when I zoomed out all the way with a special function, and I could see almost the entire map, it makes me wonder how big the battlefield is going to be, or like the active map in the future.
Perhaps this way. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes? Doing it. Mm-hmm. Right away. Uh-huh. On it. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. The mist. It could almost be beautiful. We're lucky to have masks.
I like the fact that I can zoom in so close to my units.
Right away.
It creates a connection.
Clouds be damned. A horror. This creature, it might have once been... No, don't think about it. It's just vermin now. Kill or be killed.
There's different types of movements.
Huh?
Okay, so I'm not sure if the cautious type of movement works, or I don't know how to use it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Softly. Let me think about this.
I like the input from the characters as well. It's a nice way to inform the player, hey, something's coming up, try and follow the instructions.
Doing it. It's done. All this trouble to find some scholar. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as it said, your units attack automatically once they get in range.
Uh-huh. A camp. So this must be... Lady Iris, I bring word from Ogar. The city is...
Do I look like a scholar, Herald? The lady's gone on alone. Easy for her, but... I'd best go with you to deliver your message. Yeah?
Okay, I have 2 units now, I think.
Let's go already.
I am thinking of changing the unit grouping. I've played a lot of Command and Conquer Generals, and I'm more accustomed to Control 1 rather than Control F key. But also I have a function button on my keyboard, and that may get in the way, because I don't think it worked when I tried to group them and select them. So that's why I'm going to change it to Control and normal number.
Post me high.
I'm ready.
Hmm? Where to? Post me high on it.
Yeah, it worked just fine with the Control and normal number.
Yeah?
Huh?
It works very well. Also, I appreciate the descriptions of the units right next to them once you select them. That's very helpful. It helps the player not become overwhelmed with their memory.
Doing it.
And it's more a situation of recognizing rather than recalling, and that's much better for the memory management for humans. Yeah, it introduces the concept of differences between the units. The second unit that I have is a shorter range grenade thrower, so it has a bit of AoE damage as well, which is useful when it comes to small groups of enemies. Okay, now they're introducing the concept of advantage by a height, just like in Dungeons and Dragons and lots of other games. Ranged units have advantage if they are above their targets.
Right away. On it.
Yeah? Makes sense.
Let's carry on. Post me high. Doing it.
See that ancient beacon? Only one person can light him. The lady passed through here.
We need to cross. Let's check that salvage pile for something we can use. Right away.
Oh, finally I can collect something. My gamer instincts told me that I need to collect all these things, like those planks and stones laying around and about, but I couldn't collect them. That's why I kept clicking and exploring around rubbish piles. But here we go. Okay, so that quick tutorial teaches you about how to quickly place buildings, well, structures, but it didn't tell me how to turn the object. Can I not turn it? Do I have to figure it out? Because as you've seen, I would try to build a little bridge from the left side to the right side, but I've put it on the right side and then added another block to be able to get to it. So we'll see in the future if I can turn things. Okay, so it teaches you about structure crumbling if you remove the base unit. I like this smooth learning curve when it comes to using the building mechanic. Oh, there is a turn button and it's right click. There you go, fair enough. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm impressed with the autopathing.
Almost there. The lady should be investigating those ruins.
Who is this scholar? To go alone into places like this? I can hear horrors lurking ahead. Right away. Right away. Doing it. On it. Right away.
What? I'm ready.
I'm not sure, it might be me, but I can't recognize any sort of UI that would tell me at what range do the monsters see me? Like how far, well, how close can I get to them before they start aggroing?
Good.
Huh? On it. Doing it. Uh-huh. Doing it. On it. Uh-huh. Right away. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to the idea that I need to build those single step blocks, because I just expected the characters to be able to jump one block, well, or vault it.
Lady Iris, I bring an urgent request. Ogar expects an attack. The gates are... She listened to my message, or pretended to listen. It didn't matter. She knew what to do.
If Ogar calls, we go.
Okay, that's a pretty cool first mission. Excited to play the next one.
The garrison. It's in tatters. I never thought this place would fall.
What falls can rise, Herald. We need to get this settlement working again. We shall need wood before all else.
Okay, so this is my nexus. This is what I have to defend. Okay, I did not expect resource gathering, but it makes a lot of sense. Otherwise you'd have to scavenge everything, and I think, well, there might be a whole different challenge where you have a different level and just have to survive through scavenging because you can't build things.
Constructing this will take a moment.
We should build some steps to the sawmill while it is underway. We are... Good. We will prevail.
Okay, so I think there's some functions which are overlapping in my shortcuts. I'll have to look at it in a second. Maybe I can fix it. So every single time I press 1, I also get the build menu. It does happen with 23, but I'll have to check the settings in a second.
The pálido shine, yes. Eyes open.
Yeah, here we go. The red. Okay, multiple keys share a binding. I like this quite a bit. It's not just red and deal with it. No, it's red and it tells you what the problem is. Now I just need to find... Oh, it's actually in front of me. So numbers 1 through 6 are used for the build menu, and you select what type of material you want to use or what type of structures. Okay, my numpad is off. My numlock actually is off, so it's a pad, down arrow, and whatever. But I will instead use the numpad buttons, numbers.
Go low and throw.
Ah, it works very nice now. And to be honest, I think the devs should look into playtesting this control scheme. I think it might be beneficial.
What makes sense? Yes?
Oh yeah, it works. So if you double tap the button which you've assigned to a unit, it takes you to that unit. Very useful.
It makes sense. Yeah. Go low and throw.
Masks on. The
What? Good. Yeah? On my way. I've got this.
Give me all those resources.
On my way.
The pálido shine for Ogar.
A solid
We
plan.
will prevail. Masks on.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm assuming I have to build something here, maybe a quarry, because there's lots of ores which look like copper.
We are needed.
Doesn't seem like I have access to it yet.
We will prevail.
Okay, this is cool. Already built environment. Hopefully I can use it.
We will prevail. That's right. Masks on.
And this is proving more challenging than I thought it would be.
Yeah? Makes sense.
So what's happening? Why am I not progressing? What's going on? What am I doing wrong?
Makes sense. Yeah.
I'm gonna send out my units to explore a bit.
Let's go already.
Hopefully I'll figure out what I'm doing wrong.
Where to?
And at the same time, I'm hoping I'm not going to trigger any sort of, like, mobs or whatnot.
Yeah. Right.
This looks like a place where I have to build a bridge. I'll try and do that. See what happens.
Makes sense.
While I'm searching for what I have to do, I need to say, like, the whole ambience, the aesthetics of the game is so nice and fitting. It melds well together. The music is also very fitting. I like it quite a bit, actually. Well done on this.
Go low. Good.
Oh my god, I just realized what I had to do. I thought that if I build the sawmills, it would be enough. But it says at the top right, build a sawmill with clear path to Citadel. So I'm assuming that there's going to be NPCs which carry the resources to the Citadel. I mean, I've read what it says in the bottom right corner, that buildings will automatically seek a route to the Citadel. That's still not... I mean, I don't think it uses the right words, because buildings can't find a route to the Citadel, so they probably should say that the worker NPCs will automatically seek a route towards the Citadel. I'll be honest, it wasn't that clear, this whole situation. I think the devs need to investigate it a bit more. It may have just been me, but this is the experience of a person that's playing your game for the first time. I don't know, maybe move the quest log or the task log from the top right to the bottom left, or maybe next to the tutorial aid or on top of it, because I know on the left you have the build menu for that. There you go, yeah. So as soon as I connected the sawmill to the Citadel, they've started collecting resources. And they've also provided a visual aid. I've noticed that cobblestone pathways appeared when a building is connected to the Citadel. Okay, so I see how it works. All those tilted squares on the left, they will represent a category of structures that I can build with their own roles and materials.
Yeah?
Moving it. On it. I've got this. I'm on it.
So while those buildings are being constructed, I'm going to try and see if I can get the units on the walls that are already in the base.
I'm on it.
Let's go,
Yes,
lady.
on it.
Hmm?
Eyes open.
Hmm? Okay.
Okay, so I'm getting a red notification on the right side. It says the building lacks a path to the citadel. I wonder why.
Low oxygen production.
Yeah, all of the shacks have that symbol red icon saying that they can't connect to the citadel. Why is that?
We are needed.
Yeah?
Hmm?
Deconstructed. Okay, so the tiled flooring has now appeared. I still don't know why. Now they can connect and previously couldn't.
The air here, it's stale with mist.
Okay, so the blue resource at the top left is actually oxygen, and compared to food like in other strategy games, this one uses oxygen, which limits the amount of units you can have, I'm assuming. Okay, this is quite demanding structure. It needs to be at a height, and it occupies quite a bit of space. I shouldn't have done that. I just blocked my path from the sawmills.
Eyes open.
I'm not sure if I should leave that air filter on top of the wall. I mean, it's right next to danger. But we'll see. We'll see if there's units which can attack it or destroy it.
Huh? few shacks are but the start. We have more work to do.
Okay, so now I know that flickering icon is telling me where the face of the structure is. So the face of the structure needs to be able to connect to the citadel. And I'm assuming every single structure should be able to connect to the citadel, or at least the resource one. Well, not just resource, because you have the shacks as well. We'll see if there's any structures that don't need to connect to the citadel.
A solid plan.
These minerals. If we build a quarry here, it will gather stone for our walls.
So I'm assuming I can finally build the ore or mining facility. If I can find it. Why am I selecting that one? It shouldn't be that one. Oh, interesting. So I can expand my territory with these beacons. Nice. Let me find a nice spot for it. Without blocking the way. That should do it. And I'm also wondering what happens if I remove, well, if I recycle a beacon and I've got buildings outside of the area. Would that deactivate them or would that destroy them instantly?
Excellent. Our territory now extends to the stone deposit. Let's start gathering.
Good.
I don't know why I have this habit of moving the characters next to the places I want to build things, because I'm pretty sure it's not necessary. But seeing that so far, I've been led by the game to believe that characters need to be close by.
Let's rebuild those walls.
I'll just do that.
Walls? It's true, we have plenty of stone, but...
Okay, this is a pretty cool mechanic. It reinforces the walls. Interesting.
We could use some sort of passage through our new structure.
And the building mechanism is so satisfying. What I suggest for the devs to do, if they'd like to, for example, when building gateways or doors through reinforcement walls, or just walls altogether, maybe have it be able to replace the structure and not having to build the wall in such a way to accommodate the door, but the door just makes way through it. But I understand that it may be the desired and intended design for how we should function, because it provides a bit of challenge.
We could use some traps around our walls.
Okay, so I'm going to embark in a bit of a defense building moment right now. And I also have to make it accessible to my units. And I think I've covered all the areas where we can be attacked from.
Not enough wood.
I've noticed that the carrier NPCs, they're taking quite a long route. I wonder if I optimize it for them, I will collect resources faster. Yeah, what's this? A new mechanic? Ah, it further reinforces the wall's tactical pieces. Okay. I'll have to check what benefit each tactical building provides.
Do not be so sure. Night arrives, and our rebuilding efforts have attracted them. Take positions.
Oh, the knight's here. We might get some action finally. I wonder how that works.
The night is nearly here.
Interesting. So I've noticed there's a pause button and a fast forward button at the top center of the screen. So I'm going to assume this is a wave-based game, but we'll find out in a second.
The horrors are coming. We won, but this was only a bite at our ankles. They're testing us.
You have no idea, Hogardian. Prepare for more conflict. Hiding won't be enough to survive the night. We have to put up a fight.
We lack citizens for that.
Okay, so I have to build the barracks, but I don't have enough shacks. I'll make sure to turn them and have the front-facing part of the building towards the tiled floor. And I'm also going to build a more accessible route for my units to move from one side to the other to defend. Okay, the shacks are built now. Just a few more steps over here and I'll build the barracks. Okay, so apparently the monsters just come intermittently, even throughout the day. Let me just reinforce this side of the wall over here, and I'll do the other one when I have more resources. Okay, low oxygen production. I'm not sure if that means that I'm in deficit or I'm close to a deficit, but now I'm gonna try and see if I build the height it requires. It will, yeah, it lets me build on it on created surfaces. Okay, so I'm not in deficit. It still says that overall I have 95 per minute. So I'm assuming it just means that you're close to being in deficit, which is good, I guess, but most of the games that I've played, real-time strategy games, they don't require you to, well, they don't announce you until it's in deficit.
The horrors are coming.
Yeah, right. Huh?
Let me destroy that so I can build it a bit better so it would cover both the units. Horrors are too close to build! I wasn't introduced to this restriction before. that I can't build it when there's enemies nearby. And to be honest, it doesn't really make sense, does it? Okay, so I think that if I hover the mouse cursor on the wall, I can see it's damaged. Hopefully it will last, because otherwise a lot of that is gonna get destroyed. I'm gonna move my archer on this side as well.
Yeah? Good.
And I don't know how to fix the walls. Can I fix walls? Or do I have to destroy them and rebuild them?
Not enough stone.
That's why I've built another layer. Because I don't know if I can fix it or not. Oh man, I'm loving this defense. So useful. Looks badass as well.
Yes? Right away.
Go low and throw. Makes sense.
Low oxygen production. We're under attack.
Okay, so the higher you build it, the more oxygen it produces. Interesting.
Post me high. I've got this.
Yeah? Good.
Where to? On my way. I'm on it. Yeah? On it.
And now I need to connect the oxygen to the citadel. And I'll be getting a lot of resources. Let me optimize it a bit here to make sure that everybody gets all the required buffs to defend our fortress properly.
Yeah?
The night is nearly here.
Yeah? I'm on it.
Yeah, I should be ready. I'm going to start it. Call the next wave in early. From the top right. Yeah, trigger next wave. Let's do this.
Battle. Take positions.
We're under attack.
Okay, maybe we're not ready. Oh my god, what did I do? Oh no. I'm just hoping my defenses will be enough. Okay, it seems we've got everything under control. And we don't have any more waves. Nice. Oh, I've made it. Woo!
That night, Iris defended the city gates from the horrors of the mist. With her peers in the Order, our sworn defenders. Yet, this was not the first time Ogar stood against its enemies. 30 years before that night, while the Order was once again fighting for their families, for all of us, a quiet sound began that would change our history. And when the Perla scholars opened their door, there she was. Between her tiny arms, a perla embedded in her chest. You already know, a perla is not a trivial thing. You could die just by touching one. And yet here was an infant with one of these things inside her.
She'll die without us.
She's a horror in disguise, I tell you. A horror.
One looked on in silence, and when she stepped forward, all arguments ceased.
She carries a perla, yes, but also a book.
Rectora Elena. She always seemed to understand things. Others could not.
Do we not value knowledge? The child is a beacon. Bring her in. Call her Iris.
So, the scholars of the Ivory adopted the girl as their own child. And she grew like any other. Slowly, but steadily. Always carrying her book, filled with stories from the past. But Iris was not any other child. As soon as the scholars allowed it, she became a chief defender of the city. And what does a good defender do when an attacker becomes too bold? She plays it smart. She goes in search of answers among the trees, beyond the walls. If we had known what she would come to face, Ciudad Hogar would have shut all doors and windows, and for the first time in centuries, prayed.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Isn't Iris like our savior? Why are the minions behind her? And we're facing the humans. Whoa. Foreshadowing.
Now that the playtesting segment is over, it's time for us to provide some constructive feedback. The feedback will cover the following categories. Accessibility, not only from the aspect of monetary resources, which directly reflects on the performance of the player's device, but also from the perspective of individuals which are differently able-bodied. UI UX, is it intuitive? Does it provide the player with the required information to play the game? MDA model, mechanics, dynamics, aesthetics. Community. We're looking for digital distribution platform, Steam, Epic Launcher, itch.io, community management platforms such as Discord and social media presence, X, YouTube, TikTok. And the last category is game-breaking bugs. You may have a gem of a game, but releasing it with a game-breaking bug may have devastating consequences on your day of release. Let's get into it. Moving on to the feedback, starting off with accessibility.
A tremendous amount of settings at the availability of the player, all of which can assist the player if they need it. I'm surprised there is no controller support, as this game can be paused at any time, and I can easily see how the player can use a controller to play this game. I realize that this requires a bit more work, especially in the remapping of the functions, such as allocating a calling number to the units. Other than this element, a controller can easily access the build menu, rotating the structures and controlling the movement of the units. I haven't noticed any color blindness options either. I know that this is a feature which can be time consuming, but once you've developed the filter in post-processing, it applies automatically for all the colors on the screen. The only reason that I'm mentioning this is because some elements may get lost in the environment. Have a look at this photo. You can even pause the video here if you want, and try to find Iris. If you've had a hard time finding Iris, so will people with blue blindness, also known as tritanopia.
Now we'll cover UI and UX.
You haven't introduced your title. Sure, it appears once the menu loads in, but you'd rather introduce your company name and the sound library you're using, but not the product itself. I recommend you change it up a bit. When the game has loaded in, have just the title appear and then the menu loads in after 1 second, or any delay you think best fits. I realize there are contractual obligations of displaying the Fmod logo, but that doesn't stop you from introducing your own title. Your UI is impeccable. You forced me to look in every corner for an issue and I couldn't find any. I have some suggestions which may be beneficial, but problems? None. The suggestions I have regarding the UI were mentioned during the gameplay. It has to do with the task log being out of sight from the player or just too obscure. During the gameplay segment, I've mentioned that I didn't figure out how to turn the object when building it. It is mentioned at the 11:27 minutes timestamp in the text box at the bottom right, but I've missed it. Consider adding visual aid to the functions which are in sync with the info box. Have an icon appear next to the pieces until they are set. You've tried to integrate the learning through the destroyed bridge segment, but I had other ways of overcoming it. Even though you could change the required construction to only use the extended board piece, I still recommend you add visual aid. When it comes to the types of combat style you can allocate to your units, I can't tell if it's enabled or not. Add an outer stroke to let the player know which combat style they have chosen.
It's time to move on to the MDA model.
The MDA meld together into a wonderful piece of work. It is easily noticeable that a lot of effort has gone into development of this game. This game has a lot of mechanics and they seem to be working flawlessly. I adore the building mechanic and how complementary it is to the game experience. I can only envision what sort of otherworldly structures I could build for an air farm, for example, suspended over the citadel. I haven't gotten to a stage where I had a lot of resources to expend, but I would be concerned on how the game would work if I would build an entire catacomb system. As in level 2, the citadel was a bit higher than the ground level. I could create an entire basement in the surrounding area. I'm also impressed by the auto-pathing system. It seems to be working perfectly irrespective of the type of structure I create. The resulting dynamics from the system that you've built are open and offer a lot of freedom to the player, even though they are still focused towards a narrative-centric feedback loop. I'm excited to see what I could be doing in a sandbox survival mode, for example. As mentioned during the gameplay segment, the aesthetics of the game fit the creative direction like a glove. From the ambience of the environment to the music and voice acting, this is a clear and well-defined experience.
Now, let's cover your community outreach.
First of all, you have a successful Kickstarter campaign. Congratulations are earned, well done. So what you have Steam, GOG, website, X, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, and Discord. Your Discord is very active and it is interacting with their users on a daily basis. Since you have a Steam and a GOG page, I'm wondering why don't you have an Epic Store page as well? And another thing I didn't find is TikTok. You should probably look into that. If you have any of these but I've missed them, please tell me and I will add them in the video description.
Bugs and game-breaking bugs.
Nada. Nothing. Zero. I couldn't find any. I've played more than the 30 minutes which is usually allocated for the gameplay segment because I was hooked in the game. And for the entire duration I didn't encounter any sort of bug, not while building, controlling the units or anything for that matter. Impeccable.
Before we assign a rating to this project, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree with any of the points I've made. Share my content with your developer friends. And with no more delay, it's time for the verdict. And your verdict is, take my money!
The first game in the series with the perfect score. Certainly, there are small things that I would personally change, but they are just quality of life things. As to be expected from a company with a repertoire such as this one, well done, and I can't wait for the release of this game. And for anyone watching this review and made it to the end, please go have a look at their Kickstarter. It's totally worth it.